Hello there YouTube, it's your boy B3, back with another kicking graphic novel review. Today we are looking at the Marvel Comics Alien book. This is the 2021 to 2022 run. It is Alien Volume 1, Bloodlines. This is kind of a rated RM book, you know, so not for the kiddies, like a lot of Marvel books can be. Most Marvel books are more like teen-ish. But let me read you the back of the book. The iconic cinematic terror makes its Marvel debut, you know, because Disney owns them now. Gabriel Cruz gave his life to the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. Almost literally. Thanks to an alien attack, he barely survived. Recently retired, Cruz is trying to patch things up between him and his abandoned son with the help of his friend, a Bishop model android. But his re-entry into civilian life is not going smoothly, and his encounters with the deadly xenomorphs are far from over. Now Cruz has only one chance to save his son from the horrific fate he barely escaped. The clock toward total collapse is ticking. The aliens are loose. Philip Kennedy Johnson and Salvador LaRocca team up for an all-new tale of the sci-fi horror titan that has terrified audiences for decades. No one is safe, no one is innocent, and no one can hear you scream. Collecting Alien 1 through 6 by Philip Kennedy Johnson, Salvador LaRocca, and Guru FX. Cool. I really liked this book, and that seems to be the general consensus. This, I believe, is where the new lore starts. The new, very interesting lore that's really cool about what the xenomorphs are. They are these beings. It's almost mystical in a way. They're like a cosmic force of balance that when species get a little too full of hubris and they start traveling to the stars and destroying planets in the name of colonization, the xenomorphs kind of put them in their place. And there's this dark woman. I don't even know what you could really call her. Some kind of xenomorph goddess. This real Rule 34 bait, you know? Who seems very cool. And she, like, beckons you when you have a xenomorph inside you. She can, like, speak to you telepathically in a way. It's kind of insane. Really cool change up for the lore. Really interesting. I can't wait to learn more about it. But to be honest, I don't want to fully know the full origin of xenomorphs. I think they're a creature that a lot of their interest comes from some of the mystery. It's like the Joker. No one wants to know the Joker's origin and name, even though they have given it to us in comics now. Thanks for nothing, DC. But the xenomorphs, I think, are one of the things more interesting when we know less. Predator, I think, is the opposite. I like knowing more about the Predators, actually. But the space jockeys, the engineers, you know, and the xenomorphs, I think, are more interesting without it. And many of you might be thinking, hey, this lore contradicts Prometheus and Alien Covenant and stuff. Didn't the engineers make these things? And it's like, did they? Are you sure? Because there's an image of a xenomorph and stuff in Prometheus. It's like, oh, they were made by David. Or were they just recreated by David? Because if you've read Fire and Stone, I think is what it's called. Prometheus, Fire and Stone. It's an event. It's like a crossover between the Prometheus comics, Aliens comics, AVP comics, and Predator comics. It kind of makes it seem like the engineers didn't create the xenomorphs. In fact, the engineer in that book seems dead set on killing them all. And they do attack them, so there is still a good bit of mystery. Hopefully it's not all revealed. Also, when you see Bishop in this book, it's supposed to almost be like a big reveal in a way. Like, oh, look, everyone, it's Bishop, as if I gave a damn. That was kind of the problem with Alien Romulus. It was just sucking the dick of all the other films and didn't want to be its own thing. But this book does seem like it tries to be its own thing for the most part. So I think that Bishop fan service wasn't too bad, you know? Not too bad. But, you know, this company guy who's just retired finally gets back together with his son, and they don't seem to get along well. The son sees the dad as, like, abandoning him for the company in a way. And also, Weyland-Yutani is evil, right? It's this big mega corporation that pretty much owns not only the entirety of Earth, but all the other planets humans have colonized. And they're just these evil capitalist pigs who are also kind of the government. And we find out that this retired military company man, because the military is part of the company, has had a xenomorph inside him, has seen the Dark Woman, and it turns out his son, while at his house, stole some intel to get them onto a space station where xenomorphs were being studied. It was supposed to be like kind of a freedom fighter-y kind of mission where they take down the company. And then they did take down some company stuff, but also a lot of xenomorphs took them down, including this new xenomorph called the Alpha. So the company kind of extorts this guy into coming out of retirement and going in to fight these xenomorphs and bring back the Alpha. And they're like, hey, maybe we won't execute your son if you do this for us. But we see Big Chaps, which is nice, because they always want to use, like, aliens warriors, and they really like to use alien resurrection warriors. But it's nice to just see a Big Chap again, you know? I like Big Chaps. I like their look. So yeah, we get some Big Chaps and some fighting, a lot of murder. A lot of murder. We see those big old goats. The big goats. Some chest bursters. Just a lot of fun alien action with some Bishop action as well. And we find out that the son has a chest burster inside him, but the dad doesn't want to give up on him. You know? So he takes him to this escape shuttle, and the son's girlfriend is kind of not his girlfriend. She's using him. Turns out this freedom fighter group isn't fighting for freedom from the corporation, from the company. I mean, they are, but they're also kind of some synths that have become, it's a little uninspired, some synths that have become self-aware in a very iRobot-y way. It kind of just feels done. I don't know. It's not a super big twist to me when she turns out to be a synthetic. I kind of didn't care in a way. But the Alpha Xenomorph is cool. Has these big old horns and stuff. It's really rad. But, you know, they're just trying to get out of there. And you see some cool goat Xenomorphs as well. A lot of just horrific, bloody imagery. And then there's this really cool, like, fight outside, like, on their escape pod, which is really cool. It's a neat fight. Do I wish that the Alien franchise would think of some clever new ways to defeat Xenomorphs? Yes, because they always defeat them in the same ways. Kick it out into space, you know, let it loose from the airlock, blah, blah, blah. They love to beat Xenomorphs in the same ways, you know? But this Alpha, at the very least, after they kick him into space, it enters the atmosphere and burns up upon re-entry. So that's something that's slightly different. But at the end, it does reveal that the cat that's with them probably has a chest burster in it, because it has these scars on its face. But yeah, that's basically it. We have some cover arts, most of which aren't super interesting. They aren't really things you haven't really seen before. Except for the ones with the newer kind of creatures on them. But yeah, it's a good book. The fan service isn't like crazy in it or anything. The only fan service thing in it really is having Bishop around. I wish they could think of more clever ways to defeat Xenomorphs, but this new lore is really cool. The art is kind of standard, you know. It's not the best art in the world, but it's certainly not bad. It's just art. Nothing that really impressed me. But I like this new lore, and I am excited to see what happens in Volume 2, which I have started and will eventually review. So that is it. Thank you all very much for your support. This has been our review of Alien Volume 1 Bloodlines from the 2021-2022 run. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.